The motel sat like a forgotten blister on the side of Route 15, a sagging, single-story structure whose neon sign flickered telephone more often than motel. All around it lay desert scrub spotted with brittle yucca and broken glass, the silence broken only by the low moan of wind through the chain-link fence at the back. Marla had driven 6 hours through nothing to get there, convinced by online reviews that talked about the strange charm of the place. A getaway, she told herself, away from deadlines and bad phone calls and the slowly escalating anxiety that came from waking up every morning not knowing why your stomach dropped before your feet touched the floor. The man at the front desk, if he could be called that, slouched behind a counter littered with old tourist pamphlets and a dusty bell, didn't ask for her ID. He just slid over a tarnished key with a heavy orange plastic tag, Room 6. "You're the only guest tonight," he said, not looking up from the crossword he was scratching at with a dull pencil. Marla hesitated, expecting him to add something, perhaps a joke, or at least a smile, but he stayed silent. When she asked if Wi-Fi was available, he muttered, "Best you don't stay connected." Room 6 was aggressively beige, from the stained carpet to the faded bedspread patterned with indistinct splotches that might have once been flowers or fire. The air smelled of mildew and something fainter underneath, an almost metallic tang that made the back of her throat itch. As she unpacked, the patter of drips from the bathroom sink echoed like rain, though no clouds had followed her here. She tried the television, which cycled static even when she flipped through the ancient remote's cracked buttons. The act of pulling open the heavy curtains revealed only the parking lot submerged in orange sodium light, and beyond that, a flat, indistinct darkness. That night, sleep came in fragments. Marla dreamed of muffled knocking, not on her own door but on others, as though an unseen visitor passed from room to room, testing the thresholds. Each knock in her dreams was followed by a whisper too breathy to understand but strange in cadence, wrong in its rhythm. She woke at one point unable to move, her limbs pinned by invisible weight. The ceiling above her was occupied by shadows that didn't shift with the headlights that occasionally broke over the room from the rare car passing by. The sensation leaked away slowly, like her blood had to remember its purpose. The next morning, Marla found a note slipped under her door. Not written but carved, etched in painstaking strokes on the back of a motel receipt. "Do not open the mirror cabinet." She hadn't even noticed one, but when she checked the bathroom again, there it was, an old, mirrored cabinet above the rust-stained sink, its door slightly askew. She resisted the childish urge to slam it shut, instead studying it in the mirror's reflection. Her own face looked drawn, slightly off-center, her left eye twitching almost imperceptibly. Or was it the mirror, not her, that was crooked? Later that day, the silence of the motel became maddening. There was no music, no hum of cleaning carts, not even the cleaning staff. She ventured to the lobby, but it was empty, the crossword puzzle from the night before lying on the counter, incomplete. She called out but was met with a ringing echo. The vending machine in the corridor outside her room refused money, instead rumbling without reason when she passed by. Inside her room, the murmuring started again, not from outside, but within the walls, voices pressing against thin plaster, whispering in cicada hiss. Marla tried to leave. Keys in hand, suitcase zipped to the brim, she stormed to the parking lot, only to find her car had vanished. Not broken into, not vandalized, gone. The parking space was unmarked and untouched, not even tire tracks to suggest she had been there at all. When she turned back to the motel, the facade felt subtly changed. Windows where there were none before, and door numbers misaligned and blinking in the dusk. Room 6 was now Room 9. And she knew, with sudden certainty, that the door would now open inward without resistance. That night, she gave in and opened the mirror cabinet. Inside, rather than toiletries or dust or spare razors, there was a hole, not gaping but small, like a burrow. An eye peered out, not a reflection or trick of light, an eye, wet and alert, watching her. She moved backward, heart hammering, but couldn't look away. More eyes appeared beside the first, until there were 6, arranged vertically, blinking in crooked sequence. The whispers increased in volume around her, humming through the bed frame, vibrating in the floorboards. She could taste them in her teeth, like static made flesh. She doesn't remember falling asleep, but she remembers the dream that wasn't a dream. Waking up to see herself, standing, a double, exact down to the freckle on her neck, gazing down with eyes drained of color. It didn't speak but moved its lips, mouthing something she couldn't quite hear. Its hand reached toward hers, fingers trembling. She felt a vacuum behind her eyes and pressed her fists to them, trying to keep something in, or something out. When she opened them again, her double was gone. And so was the mirror cabinet, replaced by blank wall, seamless. Now, each morning, she finds herself facing the mirror, waiting to see if her reflection moves first. The motel clerk never reappeared. The lobby stays locked, phone line dead. Some nights she tries to force the door open, but it only leads to the same room again. Just dimmer, quieter, wrong. Last night, someone knocked again. From inside the mirror. The whisper behind the knock sounded clearer than before. Not your turn yet. But tonight, as the room begins to tilt in that impossible way, the knock comes once more, and this time, it's from the inside of the closet.